What's going on, boats and shows people? We're back again tonight with Adam Garcia from Wired for Sound. Thank you, everyone who is going to join us for this one. In a minute here, we're going to repost it to River Dave's Place, River Whips. And before we get this thing started, just wanted to give a quick shout out and talk about our partner, RiverDavesPlace.com, and then I'm going to bring Adam in. Thank you, RiverDavesPlace.com, for being our title sponsor for the Boats and Shows podcast. And if you're not a part of RiverDavesPlace.com, join today. So let's bring Adam in. Let's get this thing rolling. So what's going on, man?
Same old, different days. Trying to stay cool.
A little warm where you're at?
It's like 103 today, a little humid, not too bad.
Oh, it's not terrible.
Workable.
So we already see you got the product placement, got the RDP behind you.
Yeah.
Got your own hat on. Looks like we're sitting.
I got kicker. Yeah.
Kicker.
Yeah, screw everybody else.
I was looking for my kicker hat because I knew I had to rep, but couldn't find it.
I got him up here twice. I don't even have a kicker hat. What's up with that?
I don't think they make them for people with big heads, which is why I don't wear mine very often. So
I just sew two of them together.
So I got to tell Adam, thanks for coming on today. Or tonight, I guess. So you're someone that I've kind of noticed has you've watched bits and pieces of some of the other shows we've done.
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be kind of fun to get you on here. I've obviously seen you around in Havasu, and I don't know why, but you came highly recommended from Dave. So
I used to give him free beers.
oh, dude, what is it with Dave and free beers? Everyone gives Dave free beers. That guy needs to buy his own beers. So thought it'd be fun to get you on today, talk a little about Wired for Sound and what's going on in your world. So if you just want to give like a little introduction for those that don't know who you are.
All right. My name's Adam, of course. I started it in 1990-91. I dropped out of high school. Couldn't make it past 10th grade. I mean, I went from, grew up in Mission Viejo, El Toro, Orange County area. And then my parents got divorced and moved to Moreno Valley, which was just a desert town. You know, there was nothing out there. Really wasn't into school too much. There was just a lot of gangs, a lot of fights, a lot of people doing drugs, and it was like a lower end, community out there. A lot of my really good friends were drug dealers and gangbangers, and I saw them getting in trouble, getting beat up, going to jail, but I know some of them had a lot of money because what they were doing. I was like, well, I can make money off all these guys by doing stereos and stuff like that. So, in wiring the cars and rims and lowering and all that kind of stuff. Started doing that for them. Started off in a really, really small shop, only 1,000 square feet, out in Temecula. One of my really good old friends, Jeremy McGrath, was one of my first really big customers before he was real famous. He pushed me really, really far in the supercross, off-road racing industry. Got me a lot of big clients, a lot of big names. I always loved boats. I got my first boat when I was 14, so I always wanted to put a big system in my boat, my truck. Anything I had to have a radio in it. I was the first guy at the Sand Sports show with a full system in the sand car. I had TVs in the back, headrests, and full molded pods everywhere. And everyone's like, "Oh, that's the stupidest thing we ever seen. Sand cars are for sand. We don't ever want to do that. That's dumb." Da 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 da. And then the next year at the Sand Sports show, everybody had a system in their car. Everybody had TVs in the back of their headrest. Everybody just jumped on the bandwagon. So that got us quite a bit of recognition and stuff like that. I owe a lot to Jeremy for him pushing me as far as we got. A lot of my good friends have boats and stuff like that back then, and let me, back then really screw up their boat and screw up their cars and stuff, as we're first starting off. But, it boomed from there, Then we got really big, got into UTVs real big. We started racing with Ricky Johnson and Sebastian Tortelli and McGrath and Deegan. Those guys all drove for me. And then the economy took crap, and everything fell on my face. I mean, just horrible. Just the worst 2008, 2009, 2010 I ever had. in my life, worst 3 years. Got, everything just fell. So we got out of UTVs, which was a mistake because we were the first ones ever to do the, custom molded speaker pods in there. My buddy Ryan Gomez was part of that at first, manufacturing the pods, selling them out there, but everything took a dump. So we went down to a smaller shop, and actually bought a building at the wrong time, of course. Bought a building and started, just concentrating back on the audio side of it instead of the UTV. And, because we used to race, build frames and everything. So it was just too many things, too much welding and grinding and turning stereos and keep everything clean. It was just too much to do at one time. So I stuck to what I know best, was the audio part, and just been jamming forward since then. We're in Temecula again until a year and a half ago. And the economy started really getting better, but everybody in their cars now, you buy a new truck now, it comes with Bluetooth, comes with backup camera, comes with lift, comes with rims, comes with everything. So, 50-60% of our market was gone. So it's like, well, what do we need to do? I'm just going to close up and move to Havasu, where I know a lot of my customers came from. Havasu, Parker, this part of Arizona, and had toys, which doesn't come with any stereo. You know what I mean? And, meanwhile, before first day I was out here, I was swamped, buried up to my eyeballs and stuff. We didn't have a wood room going yet. I didn't have any installers yet. It was just me and Dave, and just going insane, But I brought my guy Daniel from Temecula. I think he's one of the best installers around. I mean, this part of, Arizona, California, he's awesome. I mean, I still do it sometimes, but getting too old, too much gray hair, too fat. So I'm trying to lose the weight. People know I have a condition, but I'm trying to drop all that, and it's been awesome. And through the past years, Eliminator Boats was really good to me. We're in house there for almost 20 years, so we did. When we were booming, we're doing 500 boats a year, down to 3 boats a month. It crashed so hard. But we got in with Mastercraft and all the wakeboard boats. I lived in Canyon Lake, so we just did tons and tons of wakeboard boats and all that kind of stuff, and started I was the first one, I think, that I know of that put speakers on it was a pole back then. Put speakers on a pole, and then they came out with a tower, so we started doing a lot of tower stuff, but they were mostly like home audio speakers, with the box already pre-made. Nothing fancy because it was all junk. So we started molding some 6x9 pods and that kind of stuff, but it just, everybody started going to the round tower speakers instead, and we just didn't have the funds to really chase it and build those kind of pods and stuff. But like I said, we've been on for about almost 2 years now, and it's been kick-ass. You got a lot of support from Kicker. That's phenomenal. They're always behind me 100%. But, we also sell, Wet Sounds and Kenwood and Sony and some Alpine stuff in there. Pretty much whatever you need. But Kicker and Wet Sounds are 2 main lines that are standing behind us 100%.
Well, I have to, I don't know if you can see the comments coming through, but I guess the most I'm supposed to ask you why you're number 5. So let's just throw that one in there.
Back in the day when I was installing, doing my best, and sucking everybody's butt, I got rated the top 5 installers in California. So, so I said, "Oh, you're number 5, number 5, number 5," and these guys always bring it up to me. "Oh, you can do it. You're number 5." Da, 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 back and forth. So that's the whole number 5 deal.
The other question that's been coming through a lot is ask Adam about his side business of gay porn.
It hurts sometimes, but usually the day I know I'm going to do it, I eat a hard carton of fudge cookies. So then it's a little bit lubed up and it's a lot easier.
Got to throw that one in there. Thanks for the history of Wired for Sound. I kind of noticed you at Desert Storm this past year. First year at Desert Storm, I walked over by the Kicker truck, and there's Wired for Sound. So it's kind of cool to see your setup there, hear your setup, not really see it, hear your setup there. So
yeah, we mostly did it with River Day first. A couple of times the first times when I was, we're in bad economy, struggling a little bit, he'd get me in for trading them out or hooking them up or take care of them, which was appreciated 1,000%. He got us in there when we needed to. And then we started, coming in with him and doing some trade work, and got there every year. I think we've done it the past maybe 6 years in a row, 5 years in a row. It's been really good. Last year, Kicker wanted us to be over with them and in their booth, which it was great that they offered us to be over there, but it was just where it was at, the location. I don't think it was that great to be like it's usually right on the boulevard for street fair. But I mean, if instead of being tucked in that corner, so if we can get back on the corner, I mean, on the main street again, that would be awesome. If with me, River Dave's Kicker, and whoever could come together again
Yeah.
and make it happen instead of a last minute thing. Last time was kind of last minute, so everybody was scattered everywhere. But I think that'd be perfect.
Yeah. Definitely, it was kind of a weird thing in the middle there this year. I felt like it worked at times, but at other times it didn't. It was big groups of people in there, but then it was empty at times. And, I think it would be cool to see you, obviously, back on the street, kind of where River Dave was. So,
Yeah, exactly. That's what our plans are for this year is to be back down in there. We're going to start carrying River Dave's product inside the shop here.
you're jumping ahead of me, man. Go for it.
We're going to start carrying his stuff here. We're going to build a slot wall with all his stuff on it. So bring people into us, into him, you know what I mean? And because he doesn't like people come to his house all day and night, which is a lie because all he does like is party. But, so that way it's easier. It gives us more traffic and that's him some more product also.
Yeah. And I believe he told me today that you're going to be the first retailer for River Dave's gear.
I was his first friend, so I'm going to be his first retailer. I knew him before it was River Dave. It was just drunk Dave back then.
So what's your biggest push now with Wired for Sound? I mean, what do you see the most of through your shop? Is it boats, UTVs, or is it wakeboard boats or power boats?
It's seasonal for the most part, but we do boats all year long. Most of the time, the winter will slow down with the boat stuff, but the bigger projects will come in with the boats. The guy that wants to do a 2-month build, 6-week build, something like that. But we do a lot of UTVs, tons of UTVs. I lost my train of thought. Sorry, but I don't know. I forgot. My medication kind of gets me a little jacked up.
That's
sometimes.
all right.
But we do a lot of. It's cool because we do a lot of performance boats. And we do some wakeboard boat stuff, but a lot of performance boats, which is it's really hard to get sound out of. And I think that with my boat and a couple others really accomplished getting that done. A boat that does over 100 miles an hour has a ripping stereo in it, and you don't lose a whole bunch of room. You got to give it room in any boat, but I think we got that handled and that conquered, and we get them to play all day long without shutting off or batteries going dead or anything like that. So do a lot of performance boats, a lot of deck boats. Do wakeboard boats every now and then, but now the wakeboard boats are coming like again with the truck and car thing, they're coming fully loaded.
Yeah.
Full jail system or whatever, but the equipment's nice, the install's horrible, and the tuning is horrible from the factory. Because they're just plugging them in and shipping them down the road, and when they need to be time spent on them and tuned, and they're not doing real boxes. They're using like a plastic, and it's vibrating, and it's good equipment, but it's just a horrible install from the factories. What we've noticed.
Yeah. Have you ever done any installs on like toy haulers?
Constantly. Do tons of toy haulers. We do inside system, outside system type deal to where we'll put a remote on the outside of the RV where you can have it, turn up and down your audio, change songs, that kind of stuff. We've done projectors to where people bring a blow up projector, and we have the subs underneath the trailer that will bolt in between the axles and, resin the boxes and put a grate in between them so rocks and stuff don't puncture the woofers. We'll put speakers behind the doors so we can cut doors into the factory, factory spots like the factory does. So everything will seal up, and you're not carrying speakers. I got to set this one over here, set that one over there. Then got to store it away. Everything, you just open the door and it plays. Through the side cabinets and stuff like that. So then we do a full inside system, surround sound. Running off all 12 volt. We put like all the older motorhomes come to those big, huge, giant 500-pound TVs that are like a 12-inch screen. So we can break all that out of the overhead cabinet and rebuild it flushed in, so you're gaining that room, not hitting your head when you're walking the stairs inside of it, and then you're getting 42 to 60-inch flat screen, right above the driver's area.
Yeah. So River Dave, I'm kind of interested in that thing. Sorry, Riverdale. I'm interested in that side of things because I work in the RV industry now, and so I
We used
see.
to do a lot of stuff with. Sorry, Kurt. We used to do a lot of stuff with Weekend Warrior when it was back then. He was my neighbor out in Canyon Lake.
Oh, okay.
So we done tons of stuff with him. We sum all the wheels and tires for the motorhomes. We designed a stereo for them. We designed a stereo for Jayco back in the day. Not Jayco. Holly Rambler, and they sponsored us with trailers and that kind of stuff, fifth wheels, and so we do a lot of stuff for the RV market.
River Dave just threw in a question. Who's your biggest influencer, or who's your biggest influence in the industry?
Biggest influence as far as work wise is my installer Daniel. He's phenomenal, and he trying to get me back, getting back in the mood of doing it and wanting to do it and be happy about it, and not cutting anybody short. I mean, he's a big influence to me on that way. But as far as doing a good job and making everybody happy, the biggest influence are the customers too. That's great when you have a customer pull up to you and wave to you. Oh, you did my system, and then you could become friends with them. You know what I mean? You talk to them, hang out with them on the channel. So customers are a huge influence too, making them happy and making them, when someone requests on River Days or whatever, who do I go to for stereo? And when you pop up the shop's name, that's awesome. It's a great influence, and makes you want to struggle harder and try harder and make it happen, for everybody you can.
Yeah, and it's really when you see the customers that are super pumped on their system, that it's got to make you feel good, especially someone that's been doing it for a long time. It's still rewarding for you.
Exactly. I've been doing it, since I took apart my grandma's tube TV when I was 4 years old, and they never worked again. But I've been doing it. Like I said, dropped out of high school at I think it's probably 16 or 17, and just got in a car accident. Instead of taking that money and throwing it away on my truck, I put it into a business, and then it skyrocketed from there. Like I said, but it was hard at first. I wasn't perfect. I was screwing stuff up, and but I was 16 years old trying to run a business. I got in trouble with the IRS. I got in trouble with them. Like, what are taxes? You don't have to pay those. I said, screw that guy out. They'll never know. You know what I mean? And then ordering stuff and putting orders together and keeping wire and stock connectors. It's a big life change to go from 16 partying all the time to, okay, I can't miss a day work anymore because this is what I'm doing, and I don't want anybody talking crap on me, and I got to make this straight. But nobody in the world's perfect. Everybody has their ups and downs, but we always try our hardest, to come through for everybody.
So I got to throw this question in there because it went by so fast. Stormy Daniels or Phoenix Marie?
What is that?
I think they're porn stars.
Oh, I like Ron Jeremy myself. But nothing like a big, hairy, fat man,
So, got to throw this one in from Stacy Johnson.
Okay.
Because Stacy's tuning into this one. I'm pretty sure they're all sitting at Dave's right now, drinking beer, just fucking with us.
Here, Dave.
So, Adam, what was the most over-the-top install you've ever done?
We've done quite a bit of them, but the one that pops out the most is for a guy. I don't know where he got his money from, but he was probably maybe 130 pounds and had the deepest voice, what's that jazz singer on there? Just the deepest voice you ever heard in your life. And we did a $70,000 system in his Mastercraft. And that's when Mastercraft first came out with a hard bimini, a hard cage for the bimini. We took the cage off, flipped it upside down, molded 4 12-inch monitors in the top of that so you can watch it. We did a backup camera back then before it came out. We did all molded pods on the inside. He said he owned a tattoo shop, but doing more tattoos. But he spent 70 grand on that boat, and it was pretty crazy. It had all top line equipment, and I think we added 2,500 pounds to that thing, which he was fine with because it made the biggest wakes, that kind of stuff. But it was crazy.
2,500 pounds in stereo equipment.
Batteries, wires, stereo equipment, boxes. The roof rack alone weighed 300 pounds that we added to it.
Holy cow.
But then 6 months later, he just disappeared, so I don't know where he went. I got it done.
What's the coolest or most over the top system you've done in a performance boat? Actually, I'm going to rephrase that. What's the cleanest sounding system you've been able to do in a performance boat?
We just did a limited air deck boat. You know, that's pretty much kind of performance, but it had a big motor stuff in it. Um, he spent 10, 11 grand on it, and it was pretty nice. I mean, everything. I think I posted online a couple of times. It's really clean. The install came out really clean. Everything was lit up LED because the new style stuff. It was all kicker. Um, it was pretty badass. I mean, that's our average thing right now. Is that was the first boat actually we did the soundbar on that we started doing. So I think that was started a good over the top trend. Everybody putting the soundbar on the back. We've done about 4 of them so far, and everybody's loved it. That instead of having those big old Mickey Mouse ears hanging off your boat and you driving down the river and when you're drilling holes inside of some of the boats, that's a really weak part in some boats. So it's getting stress cracks up there and then you gotta, if you do take them off, you gotta take them, put them under the bow. They're getting scratched up. They're getting rolled around. Your kids are dropping them. You know what I mean? So the soundbar thing was a really cool idea. Worked out bitching between me and Daniel, put our heads together and made it to where it doesn't look like a soundbar. It just looks like a billet trim ring with a vent or something. So I think that's those turned out really good.
Alexi brought up what about the 34 Magic you did?
That one had the soundbar on the back also. We did what we did is we took his factory grab handle templates, on the back of the Magic and made it one long bar instead. So it didn't have grab handle, speaker, grab handle. So we just machined the whole bracket, had a ball milled and everything just like it would be from Magic, and then cut our soundbar into it from Wet Sounds and put the factory pull bar back on it. Looks bitchin'. And looks totally stock. Guy gets sound out of the back of the boat because that boat's so high in the air. Your system's way up here and you're way down here floating in the water. You can't hear anything.
Yeah.
So that turned out really nice.
So one of the questions I'm seeing coming through a lot right now is, how does that soundbar handle water, or what happens if it gets wet?
It's made by Wet Sounds, and it's meant for a UTV. So in your UTV, you're in water, dust, dirt, sand, everything all day long. And you're driving with a soundbar. You're driving at the sand, water and dirt. Versus the boat, the water's really not coming in unless you're in a smaller boat, and it's ramping up on the through the hole, which is very minimal because we put the screen in before it, and then we leave a little, like maybe an 1/8 inch gap, so if water does fall inside there, it's going to fall into the boat and turn the bilge on. It doesn't take out any more water or anything than any other vent does from the factory. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We usually put them at the same height as the vents, so we're not below the vent, or anything like that. So it works out pretty good.
Yeah, and that was a question that was coming through a lot. I personally know, how durable Wet Sounds are. That's what they're made for. They're made to be beat up on to a point. So,
yeah, they work perfect. I mean, it was if anybody else, made a bar like that, we'd give them a shot too and trying it. But I mean, it was just one of those things where I just think those Mickey Mouse ears are ugly. I mean, my personal thought, I just think they're hideous. But sometimes that's the only choice you have. Put them under. If you put them under the hatch, that's fine. But when they're up on the outside, the boat on the sides, I think it looks horrible.
I think it looks goofy. So I want to highlight this one because I know when I called you earlier today, you were at the gym, and I know there's a lot of people in here that care about you and who you are, and this has there's been a lot of comments about how great you look and how much weight you've lost. So I want to highlight, Adam I don't know you that well, obviously, but there's been a lot of comments about how much weight he's lost, 70 pounds. And, I know you're trying to get healthy. If you want to talk about that a little bit for your customers and your friends.
Yeah, it's, I've always partied, only on the weekends. I'd never done drugs. Everybody smokes weed every now and then, did that. But I've never gotten to coke, speed, or anything like that. I drink just on the weekends. And I was at the boat show they had out here in the beginning of summer. And I partied the night before and with Dave and everybody, and I felt like elephants sitting on my chest. And I was like, man, I don't feel good. I must be super hungover. And I was like, I didn't really drink that much. And then the next day I went to the ER and like, oh, get a crash cart, a wheelchair. This guy's congestive heart failure. I was looking, I'm like, who's having a heart attack? Who? I'm like, you are. I'm like, I am. No, I'm not. I just have a little pressure in my chest. So they gave me Lasix, and I took it, and it ran out. My dumbass doesn't go back to the doctor. So, I feel fine now. I took Lasix. I'm good to go. So 7 days later, it happens again. And then so I go back to the doctor again, and they give me Lasix again, and then they schedule me an appointment. Well, between that appointment, I get to park a tooth float. So I go out with everybody, and I'm just like, oh yeah, let's party. I'll drink vodka instead of beer. It'd be better. Well, I drank almost a whole bottle of vodka by myself. I made an ass of myself, I guess, that Roadrunner, trying to, push the whole world around. And luckily, my friends picked me up and took me home. I ended up throwing up all over myself. Ended up butt naked, and throwing up everywhere. And it was embarrassing, you know what I mean? And I woke up the next day, felt like an ass, so I wasn't going to drink that day. And we're on the way to the sandbar up in Parker, and we're going 5 miles an hour, and I was just thinking, I said, man, we need to hurry up and get there. We need to get out of this boat. And I feel like crap. I just feel like shit again. So we go to the sandbar, and next I can't breathe again. So they called the fire boat, and comes over, picks me up, puts me in an ambulance, takes me to the hospital. I'm there for 4 days, and the same thing. I end up having a low heart output, 17%. So they can't fix it. The only person can fix it is me. So, sorry.
We got you, Adam, man. It's all right, man.
Relax, buddy. Come on. You got this. Take a deep breath.
So, it's just hard.
Yeah.
You're good, bud. Take a deep breath. You're good.
Here, I got the perfect napkin right here. But I got a lot of sorry about that. I got a lot of friends behind me, a lot of support.
Yeah.
Which has been awesome. Everybody's stepped up for me and quit drinking, quit eating shit, quit fucking around, and been hitting the gym, and it's 65, 70 pounds up down so far, and feel way better. I can breathe now. I can tie my shoes. I can wipe my ass. You know what I mean? Just a lot of stuff that you comes up every day, more and more. Just your basic deals. Tying my shoes, getting in and out of a boat. I'd be in a boat and be like, Daniel, hand me the screwdriver. It's a foot away. Oh fuck, I can't reach it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, I still have another 70 to go, but just having that off me, huge difference. Huge. I feel a lot better, and just a lot of support. Especially from Amanda and Dave and Daniel and all my friends. It's been good.
And I didn't mean to embarrass you, but I know that there's a lot of people who care about you. I know there's a lot of people who I know you're a well-known and well-liked person, in this industry. And I wish you could see the comments, that everyone who, of all the people that do care about you, I'll have to screenshot it after this and send them to you, because, it's something where when I called you earlier and you said, man, I'm walking out of the gym, why is it so fucking hot? It made me laugh, because, it was cool to see, you realized that there was an issue, and it's inspiring. You needed to make the changes for yourself. You knew that there was no drug, that there was no, doctor that can make that change for you. You knew that if you wanted to continue to live your life and continue to do the things that you love, you had to make some changes. So I appreciate you sharing that, man.
For my kid and for everything else, just like I said, it was super hard, but I just did everything cold turkey. I quit drinking that day. I quit eating shit that day. I quit eating, drinking Pepsi. I used to drink minimum 2 liters of Pepsi a day. Haven't had a Pepsi since. I haven't had, everybody cheats every now and then, have some chicken or a taquito or every now and then. But, for the most part, it's just shakes and carrots and lemons, and because I hate salad, so I'll have a V8 instead. But which isn't all that great, but it's better than having a Slurpee or a Mike, shut up, a Slurpee or a Twinkie or something like that instead.
Yeah, the Slurpee comments have been coming in, so.
I had once, well, 1.5 Slurpees. The machine broke. The machine broke. I was only able to get half a Slurpee I had to share with Dave. So.
Who's your biggest support system? I mean, you kind of named some names, but who's your biggest support system?
Amanda Paul.
And that was one of the questions. I knew that one was going to come through. Everyone was saying, who's Amanda? So.
Amanda. His name's Paul. It's Amanda and his name's Paul.
Well, is there anything else you kind of want to, for the viewers that are watching, is there anything else you want to talk about or say to them or recognize anything else before we kind of end this thing?
Just want to say thanks for everybody that comes through here and give us a shot. You know what I mean, and lets us cut apart their brand new boat or UTV or you know what I mean. The guy when I was doing the guys Eliminator. This brand new boat. He just paid $200,000 for it. It's been in the water for 20 minutes. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna cut a big hole in the back. It's like, so just the trust that people lay in us is awesome. Like I said, nobody in the world's perfect, but I really appreciate customers, having fun with us doing that, and letting them get good sound and hang out in the channel, have good times, and it's I think that's the best thing in the world, hanging out when you're with people, and then I'm not saying, oh, fuck that guy, fuck this, fuck that, just positive vibes. Hey, a wave here and there, and oh, you did my friend system love it. I'm gonna send them by, and it means the world to us. It's awesome.
So what's next for Wired for Sound, and where can people find you?
You can find us at on Facebook. Is probably our website's being built right now. The biggest way to find me is on Wired for Sound Havasu Wired for Sound Adam Havasu on Facebook, or or River Dave's. You can post something on there, and usually it alerts my phone that we're mentioned on there. You just you can call us at 928-733-6290. Is our landline. Quit calling my cell phone every 5 minutes. And our next biggest steps are, just getting to bigger and better things. We need to do a couple boats, getting ready for the boat show that's coming up in November, an off-road show. We want to try to do some bigger and better boxes for the X3, Can-Am X3, because there's just no room in there, and the base is there, but it's not the deep bass that we're known for. You know what I mean? For making everything real loud and hit really good. There's just no room. So we're gonna experiment next week in my buddy Tommy's car, and
I guarantee that's someone from River Dave's house right there.
Oh, it's Christy Gomez. Oh, it's Ryan. Sorry, Ryan.
I knew that. I knew as soon as you said the phone number, that one was going to happen.
That's what I did. What an ass. What an ass.
Well, I'm going to do it. I got to say, thank you for doing this with me. I obviously will call you tomorrow, but I've got an idea. I do another podcast called The Dirty Dinner Show. So I'm shamelessly plugging myself, but I'm going to come to Adam's shop for anyone that watches The Dirty Dinner Show stuff. And we're going to have to do a live show from there. Maybe do some off-road stuff because I'm really liking what you're doing. So
thank you very much. And sorry for getting all emotional and stuff, but it's hard for me. But we're making it happen, and hope I'm around to do it for another at least 20 more years. You know what I mean? I don't want to be pushing a walker or nothing. But
well, Ryan Gomez just said trying to get an appointment.
Don't give out my cell phone number. But it's hard to say no. It's hard to say no. We get. Dave's like, we're full. Don't take any more jobs in. I just picked up another boat today. So, it's just hard to say no to somebody, And then the hardest thing too is when someone calls, it's just the radio. Could you look at just the radio? Just stop playing. We get the boat here and like, just the radio? You need fucking everything, But, it's just, in a boat, you got to know how to wire a boat. A car is totally different than a boat, I mean, and a lot of boats that we see are wired like a car with not that thick enough power wire, and the rod stays run right, no speaker boxes in there, and nothing's soldered, nothing's heat shrinked, and these drywall screws on a lot of stuff. And it just, I did too back in the day. I didn't know any better, but being in house limiter taught us a lot of tricks and, what to use, what not to use, and And then, you know, we learned ourselves in my own boat, you know, my personal boat, my personal toys, truck, and everything is trial and error. You know what I mean? And then thanks to Kicker, we do a lot of tries to, you know, with the new equipment and always supporting us and helping us out. So it's a good thing. It's good right now. For no advertisement and for being here for a year and a half, I can't thank everybody enough.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And as far as getting emotional, we appreciate it. You know, it's nice to see people that are honest and the rawness of, you know, your emotions, and for you to, you know, explain how important it was to you and how someone just said wired for tears, but that's all right. We appreciate you being honest with us and sharing that. I had to ask a hard question, so.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime. And it's like I don't hide anything from anybody. You know what I mean? It's if I have if I'm having problems, you know, there's a lot of customers coming here that know already, and it's awesome. First thing they say is, "How you feeling?" You know, it's not I need this, need that. It's just, and I barely know these people. You know, how you feeling? Looking good? Da, da, da. And that means a lot. You know, instead that's the first thing in their mind. Want to know how I'm doing? You know, they don't know me for nothing. Who gives a shit? So to me, it means a lot.
Well, and Dave just said wired for years. I like that one better.
I'll be wired for beers here pretty soon, I hope. As soon as I get rid of some of this stuff. So hopefully.
Well, thanks, Adam. We appreciate it. Thanks for coming on. I'll talk to you soon, man.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.